Hello and welcome to Media Rumble. I'm Chris, and as it's the end of the week, it's time to review another movie. And I couldn't think of a better movie to review this week than Captain America Civil War, as it's just been released on DVD and Blu-Ray this past Monday in the UK. Civil War is the follow-up to 2014's The Winter Soldier, and it's directed by the Russo brothers and stars Chris Evans, Robert Downey Jr. and Scarlett Johansson. Now this isn't a spoiler review by any shape or form, but I will only really be talking about the things that are in the trailer and on the back of the DVD. And with that said, I really feel like I can move on with the review now. Now, unlike the other big superhero movie released early this summer, Captain America Civil War had over 10 films leading up to this confrontation. Now this led a lot of people to believe that because it was two beloved characters with a long history within the MCU, that they wouldn't actually give us the war that they promised. But without a shadow of a doubt, they gave us a war. The way they set up this film is excellent. By using the consequences of previous conflicts, they manage to create divisions within the Avengers, and these divisions are all formed because of the characters' moral stance. When the government jumps in to try and put pressure on the Avengers to report to someone, you can really grasp what type of people these characters are by how they respond. This movie almost seemed to be a test for the Russo brothers on how they'll be able to handle the Infinity War Avengers films. And I can say without a shadow of a doubt, they have gone above and beyond what they needed to do to prove that they're more than capable of handling an Avengers film. Anthony and Joe Russo somehow managed to give all the current Avengers enough time to shine, while also introducing two new characters and making it a definitive Captain America movie in the process. And this is something I was extremely worried about. I didn't want it to just be a big mess of superheroes with no real direction. I wanted to actually be a Captain America movie that it was billed to be. I think it's a testament to the skill of the Russo brothers and the writers Chris Marcus and Stephen McFeely with how they managed to create a story with no real bad guy between Captain America and Iron Man. It really allowed the viewer to make up their own mind about who was in the right. As well as the story, they really make the action seem very meaningful. Everything is really emotionally driven, and this is no more apparent than in the airport scene that you can see in almost all of the trailers. That fight manages to keep you right on the edge of your seat with these huge big set pieces, but it also manages to keep it very neutral. Any sort of bias is very well hidden, and it manages to keep it very suspenseful for both sides of the fight. This scene manages to showcase individual fighting styles and personalities without it just seeming like everyone's just a generic fighter. And it very much could have done that, especially when you look at Captain America The Winter Soldier, where almost everyone in that movie was very hand to hand in their combat. It brings in the range combat of Iron Man and Hawkeye, as well as the power-based combat of the Vision and Scarlet Witch, and it does so in a way that feels really natural. And I think that can be said about the film as a whole. It moves along at a great pace, and it doesn't feel rushed or dragging on at any point. It really keeps the audience interested for the entire thing. I think that's all I can really go into with this movie, because any more moments that I mention, good or bad, may spoil something. No matter how small, it's not what I want to do. And the main aim of these reviews is just to say my opinion about the film without going into too much detail, so that someone who hasn't seen the film can get an idea of what I thought of it. So what did you think of Captain America Civil War? Where does it rank within the MCU, or even just superhero movies as a whole? Comment down below and I'll be sure to check it out. If you liked this video and want to see more like it, I highly recommend subscribing to Media Rumble, and you can do that by clicking over there. And if you want to check out the previous movie review that I've done, the film Creed, you can check that out down here. And if you like superhero movies, I highly recommend checking out this video here, where I talk about how Deathstroke is the perfect villain for the Batman standalone film. And as always, thanks for watching. I'm Chris, and I hope to see you next time.